Hello, hello. I hope everyone is okay. So please, I'm actually about to talk about 5 gigahertz internet, which is called 5G, 5G internet. So if you just started to looking at this video, and I'm actually going to be live for quite some time. Go ahead and share this live and join me in this video as well. If you have questions, comments, please feel free to put it, um, and I'll definitely answer to those questions. So if you just join, my name's Stefano, um, founder and CEO of Gene Computech Corporation. Oh, I'm also gonna be talking about about the name. There's actually a company name that does the name of the company really actually, is really a matter, right? I'll be talking about that. So I'm actually gonna be right here on the side. So if you guys, let me see, this is not public. Is it public? Yeah, it is public. Okay. I'm actually looking at the live dashboard at the same time. Too low FPS. Yeah, what is that email? I already pointed out. And do I need to reprint that? I don't think I do. I should have it somewhere, but okay. Hello everybody whomever actually who just joining me into this live. Please feel free to say hello. Um, Today we're gonna be talking about two things. One is actually company name, and the second one is going to be about 5G internet or 5G services. So with me right now, I got actually some nice Guinness, um, and I'm gonna be talking about 5G. So, to those of you who knows me, knows that my name is Stefano. To those who doesn't, my name is Stefano. I'm the founder and CEO of Gene Computech Corporation. We located at in Boston, one Boston place, and also have data centers located in Brockton, Mass, and Bensil, MPA. Now, as I'm talking about that, also have 4 nodes. So if you guys don't actually understand what the meaning of 4 node is, it's like having 4 location for tower services. Okay, so technically I have 4 nodes. So again, I'm gonna actually be standing here. I'm waiting for you guys to view. If you just joined, go ahead, drop a comment, say hi. Don't be a stranger. Okay, go ahead and say hi. I'm waiting to actually see a couple of people. Go ahead and share this live because it's going to be interesting. I also want you guys to comment and participate with me in this video. So since I literally just started it about 6 minutes ago, I'm just gonna wait for a couple people to join in because I want you guys to join. All right, I do want you guys to join. Let me see. First, I'm going to test and make sure that yep, I do have it live. Let me see if it's how's that goes. To join. All right. Okay, so the good thing is I got good sound. That's another way to test the sound. Oh, another thing we're going to talk about is gonna be protocol services. Like for example, I'm on Facebook Live, right? Right now, I'm actually doing Facebook Live. But really, The internet, Facebook Live, YouTube, Google, emails, all of that. It's like driving a car. You guys know that? No? It's literally like driving a car. Most of us, we just know how to start the car, to drive it, but not all of us really knows how to even change a tire, right? Not all of us actually know that. So same thing with technology. So right now on my dashboard on Facebook, it actually do have the insight. It tells me how many viewers do I have, how many reactions do I have, any comments, how many shares, and what's the other one? Oh, how many clips? Oh, zero clip. I don't know. Anyway, whomever actually just joined, please go ahead, send a comment, add a comment, say, hi, how are you doing? So, like I mentioned today, I'm going to talk about three things. One is gonna be about company names. The second thing is going to be about 5G network. As you see advertised by T-Mobile, as you see advertised by Verizon, that you got 5G internet. Yeah, you know. But really though, I mean, like as far as the 5G, it's gonna take us a minute to really experience 5G because one right now there is actually a chip shortage. Um, and those chips are actually what makes any devices think faster, act faster, and do things faster, especially now with the AI contribute, with AI being built, actually already been in production and being used. Facebook uses AI, big time though. Oh, um, I did say also on the third position I was gonna talk about the services, right? Like right now I'm on Facebook Live, and but really what is really running under the hood, right? There's that. Another thing, last night I did actually posted. I sent out couple links. Even I put it on my story page where I wanted people to be able to go ahead and put their reviews on my Google page, right? Because those reviews are important. Okay, so honestly, I don't get to see who actually just, I mean, who just came in or who's looking. I only see how many I have. Like I keep saying that I have one person coming in and then left, one person coming in and then left. I don't know how many people actually looking at this right now. So I'm about like 10 minutes now. So go ahead, people, share this live as well. You know, um, share it with your friends, family. Tell them, hey, tonight is gonna be interesting to talk about companies. Company name, how does that affect? And then the second topic is 5G, right? Second topic is 5G. Um, Third topic is about services being used. Like for example, right now I'm on Facebook Live. What's the protocol that's being used in Facebook for me to be able to do this live? Same things for YouTube. You know. Um, yeah, yeah. So go ahead and share this live. I mean, if I don't see some shares, some people say hi. I'm just gonna be like, okay, then maybe I should change the platform. I'll just switch to YouTube then. You know. Um, and then maybe I could reposted it here. But let me know. Let me know. Go ahead. Share some live. I mean, share the live. Share the link. Say hi. Come on, my friends. I gotta say it like that. Let's see what else I got. I'm actually looking at my Facebook page on my phone as well. Recently, you guys should see that I posted a picture of two equipment next side by side. This was actually um, a Ubiquiti R6 router. The R6 stand for Ubiquiti router 6 port router. That's what that means, right? Boss way, ou lage mwen rezye ba yon chwa non? M'accepte. Eh? Bon, ou lage m, koman m ka fe bwe kop mwen, toto? Ou va konen depi ke m ba, depi ou pa la bagay? En tout cas, boss way. So, jodi an la nou pal pale de plusieurs, de trois, de kek bagay, ou kompon? One of them is actually good. Go ahead, please do me the favor and share this live. One of the things I'm going to be talking about is company name. The second thing I'm going to be talking about is 5G internet, or 5G services that people hear about. The third thing I'm going to be talking about is going to be, protocol, like services used under, like right now I'm doing this Facebook Live. Key service ki utilize dans Facebook là. You know, what's the protocol name? That's actually one of them too that we'll be talking. So to start with the first one, and go ahead if you guys also have comments, questions, please. As I'm talking, go ahead and get on this live as well. Don't be stranger, okay? Put some likes. Sim this on YouTube. If I was on YouTube, I would have say subscribes. But I'm not on YouTube. But go ahead and please just the only two things you guys can do is just share this live and then also put some likes as well. Let's make it run. So, company name. Does a company name really affect the company? Well, yes and no. The yes part, it all depends on who you target as a customer. First off, before I dig deeper into that, my name is Stefano, again, founder and CEO of Gene Computech Corporation. Gene Computech is a telecom service provider, as well as you be choosing Comcast, Verizon, or AT&T as your internet and phone service provider, AWS, Google Drive, or Amazon, Microsoft Azure for your co-locations or cloud services. Gene Computech, we do actually offer the same exact type services. Um, and it's not a reselling product. We actually right here in one of our data center is here in Brockton. So you're not data center, you're not Brockton. So I'm originally from Haiti. Um, been in the been here for quite some times now. Company's been around for also for quite some times, right? And so yeah, let me see. I'm trying to also share this video to a couple of people. I was just to couple of people as well. But again, I need you guys to be involved, and that's why I put hold on. Let's see. Copy link, and let me go ahead and text this link to a couple of people as I want people to watch this live. Go ahead and share it with your friends, family, wife, husband, boyfriend, girlfriend. I'm joking, right? With the girlfriend part. I'm just joking. I hope nobody actually, cut my head off over that. I'm just actually joking, you know. But yeah. So company name. Let's go over that. Now, over the year, um, like, was it? Yeah, it is actually. Is it this year or last year? Last year, I did obtain something from a agent, which is a government agency that uh, uh, um, all companies goes to get their IP addresses, their public IP addresses that belongs to them, and we all have to pay it every year. We also goes to there's something called an AS number, autonomous system number, and honestly, it's just like It's just like a social security number, and it's actually it's unique to each company that do have that number. It's unique to each company, um, and it's called an AS number, right? And what that AS number do, again, like I mentioned, it's like a social security number. It says it gives you the opportunity to actually connect your network to another company network. For example, in my case, I own my network. I have my public IP addresses that I do give out to my customers. Start with a 169. That's a public IP, and all these are actually public records. If you go on Google and type Gene Computech Corporation network ID or AS number, you'll find that I have an entire, you know, IPv4 internet protocol, internet IP address 4 version 4, and also IPv6, and I got my AS number. Now, if you go also to, there is a website called whois.net. If you go on that website, then you'll see that there is a lot of, like for example, Comcast has several AS numbers, Verizon also, AT&T as well. Um, Ton of it, actually, ton of it. They do have actually, AS numbers. Now, one of the companies that I came across, please, when you get this, when you actually see this live, go ahead and share it, and also put a comment, and also put a like, because it's gonna be very informational. So, when actually the AS number, what does the AS number do? It says, hey, for example, in my case, I have my network, I designed it, I got 4 nodes, which means four tower locations where people can connect and get internet service from me. Now, let's say you right here on my network, and that's Gene Computech, okay? And Gene Computech needs you on my network, and you needed to go, for example, on Facebook.com. And Facebook.com is actually, hosted behind either Comcast, Verizon, or there's a ton of other internet service providers that you guys don't know, but they more like on an enterprise-based level. Like you have Cogent, you have Crown Castle, you got Dutch Telecom. I mean, when I say you got ACC, which is an enterprise part of AT&T, and there's actually a ton of them. I'm telling you guys, there's a ton of them, and each location varies, right? Like you could go to New Hampshire and you see that there is more Comcast than ever than any other company in New Hampshire, right? Which we call at the end the monopoly. Uh, you could go like down to New York, you see there is more Spectrum, or if you go down all the way to Virginia or North Carolina, you see Charter, right? Which is also another type internet service companies. Oh, here in Hyde Park, Mass, you got RCN. You guys actually know RCN, right? Right. So that AS number, which is like a social security number, when somebody on my network try to go again on Facebook.com, which is located behind either one of those carriers be like, oh, is that person even trusted? Can I really like that network, right? So now, thank you, dear. How you doing, dear? And then what happened is this, right? So between myself and Comcast, between Gene Computech Corp and Comcast, we have what is called a peering agreement, right? It's like a handshake that say, hey, I trust your network. I'm gonna share routes with you. I'm gonna share the internet traffic between your network and my network, and I trust that. Okay. Now, when I actually obtain my AS number, there is a company called Hurricane Electric, just like I pronounce it. Hurricane, like when you have tornadoes, bad weathers, hurricane, electric. And they were the first one that called me in to congratulate me. Thank you, oh, congratulations, you have your AS number, and it is actually there's gonna be like some sales pitch behind it. Try to sell me something at a very good price though actually. You know, a 10 gig network for like 700, and Hurricane Electric is actually the lowest on the market right now. No questions asked. Um, so Hurricane Electric, when you hear that name, you at first you think that, hey, are they selling electricity? So they saying electricity is having issues, right? Yeah, I know. Actually, I know they're very expensive, and which will get to my next point. You know, like when it comes to the 5G and all that. So just stay tuned. So I'm gonna finish with the company names first, right? So when I actually hear Hurricane Electric, I mean, it sounds like electricity company, right? But no, it's what is called an IP transit company. Now, please, I'm gonna ask you guys to forgive me in advance. There is certain terms that I'll be using. One of my biggest flaws is the fact that I do not know how to dumb it down. What I mean by that, to provide an explanation that's gonna be able for you guys to understand it unless you guys are part of it. So the IP transit, that's what actually they mostly do. So another way they provide you with the with the internet bandwidth, and then if you have your IP block, so you guys can actually Google IP transit, or you guys can also Google the next term that's called IXP, right? IP transit. Let me type it down, in the comment section. IP transit. You guys can Google that as well, right? Or IXP. Um, so that's what they do, right? Now, when I actually met them, I'm like, okay, then Gene Computer Corporation. I know that at first people think I'm a place that used to fix computers. That's actually currently fix computers. That's what they think, right? But let me put it this way. I actually started and I use to fix computers. That's actually how I started. Back in 2009, 2008, I started by as this guy who either your computer has a broken screen, virus, man, you bring it to this guy and then I'll make sure that there is no virus, everything is reinstalled. I mean, like reinstall it to bad guy, right? But then I was like, okay, how much can I really do by being the computer guy? I mean, there is actually people for it, and that I wasn't one of the people. So I actually wanted to become more of a contractor for Comcast back then. And at the end, what they do, they actually introduced me to a telecom, which is they call a master agent. They introduced me to that company called Intellisys, and Intellisys actually was the one that really bring me into the whole telecom industry, right? Then I went to school. I actually went to Phoenix U. I also went to Europe. That's part of Cambridge, which that's how I get my credits from my college credits from Cambridge College. And then I transferred them to Phoenix, and then from Phoenix, due to the fact that I was traveling too much, I did I did actually was not doing too well in school because my GPA was kind of low. No time really to do homework and all that, those participation. So they actually suspended me for a little bit. So I'm like, okay, in order to boost my credit back up, my GPA back up, I need to take some side no course. So I ended up going to Kaplan U, and I act as a complete dummy and went for a computer class, right? Act like I don't know computers, nothing at all. But I ended up, graduating with honor. But that was a good thing. Anyway, so Gene Computech used to be a place where you fix computers, but I changed, strategies. I changed who my target as customer. I changed the way I do things, right? Um, but at first, like, and I was listening to everybody say, "Hey, you need to actually change the business name, like to Optize," and I actually did for like 4 months. And believe it or not, that cost me a lot because after I changed to Optize, I honestly do not have the time to do no such advertisement or whatsoever. Nothing was really there was nothing going on, no traffic, nothing whatsoever, nothing. So I decided to move it back to Gene Computer Corp, which I did, and hopefully everything is going well. It's picking back up, hopefully. But for the past 4 months, things was not going good because I also did that change too. But anywho, so names doesn't really matter. It's all depend on who you target as customer and moun nou chwazi avec ki kompanyi kou vle parce gen moun ki gen kompanyi yo, right? By the way, let me say this. A company is not a business. A company can have a business inside of it. Okay? Now, ça fait me dire que une compagnie pas un business, it requires much more discipline, it requires much more structure. Ou besoin plus moun qui accepte to join in as a partner and willing to take risk with you, right? As a business, hey, I just needed to sell phones, and as si ton mani fin vend 50 téléphone fait comme moi avec bénéfice, then you know what, ma vivant téléphone encore. But as a company, when actually people rely on you, on your services, like I have people rely on my services right now, that's using my phone services, that's using my internet service, and honestly, I cannot just close shop and say whatever. I cannot do that because guess what's gonna happen? Those people who were relying on my services, they going to get in trouble. And believe it or not, because I took the HIPAA test, um, and even in telecom, if something that you promise doesn't go right, you get fined, you get sued. Honestly, sued si kon sa ke hey, ou kon ki sa ou pa bezwen ke to de business ou met po telefon servis ou avem, bayad nou tou ke po telefon servis ou avem. And then de mesi je ve mani di, ay, kon ki sa ba sa pa mache pou mwen, mani klevim vire dom mali. Right? Mani klevim kite ofis nan la. Demain, si Dieu veut, j'ai fait que customer ça lui-même, il te get fait confiance, il accepte pour service moi. Li bam chance ça, parce que quel que soit monde, anyone who has a company just needed one person to give him a chance, to give them a chance. Either it is Microsoft, either it is Apple, either it is Google, they just needed one person, including Facebook that I'm using right now. Just needed one person to really believe, to understand the vision that says, oh, this company is not going to be here for one day, right? Because we're constantly providing the services. Now, there's another thing too. When you have a company, just because you make your first $50,000 doesn't mean that you're going to, oh, let's go vacation, No, that money needs to go right back into the company because you need to make sure that you provide way better services than we provided yesterday, right? Which means that there is time that I do staying here until 2, 3 in the morning. And all I'm doing is making sure that I run updates. I'm adding new structure. I'm updating the firewall. I'm changing some policies. I'm writing some new ones, right? And it's a lot. Believe it or not, it's a lot. Now, running a company is even way much more because it's risky. You have families that, especially if they do not understand, like here in America, I mean, it is a big thing, like the bills, right? But guess what? The bills are always going to be here. They're not going to go away. They're always going to be here, right? But anywho, so the company name, I actually reverted back to Gene Computer Corp. And and I'm providing actually services as Gene Computer Corporation. Now, I switch my services. I do not fix computers. That's not what Gene Computer do. I do not fix computers. Um, I do my best to create different department as far as I can run cabling, to install security camera. I used to be the one doing them. I used to be security camera. Now I shifted on my focus as to be a telecom, internet, and phone service provider, as well as being a cloud colocation data center space provider. Period. Done. Any questions? Please go ahead, throw it on the comments, likes, share. Please, that makes this live, very entertaining. Now, the second topic I'm going to talk about is 5G. Yeah, everybody here that's going to be 5G. T-Mobile is promoting 5G. Verizon is promoting 5G. Everybody is promoting 5G. I provide gigabit internet myself, right? Now, what happened with this is when you have the providers actually do spend the money to make sure that the network is actually available. Like here, I have literally gigabit internet on everything. I do even like on my antennas on my towers. I do provide gigabit internet flat. However, you might not be able to experience it, and I'm gonna tell you why. Let's take for example this phone. My um, provider is T-Mobile on this phone. I don't do mobile devices, but I do actually. My phone service do work on. I do provide my mobile apps, so my phone service do work. By using my mobile apps. But no, I do not do cell phones. Right? I do not provide cell phones. I don't provide cell phone services. That's T-Mobile's job. That's Verizon's job. That's AT&T's job. I'm not into that market. Okay? Not as of yet for now. I don't have the interest for that. Um, this phone is actually using T-Mobile. Now, T-Mobile could have 5G already available, but on my phone, it still says 4G. Why does it say 4G? Right? Now, I'm going to try to use an analogy. Let's say that it's like buying a truck versus you have a sedan, right? A four-door car, and you're trying to move out of your apartment or your house. Which one of those two will be able to carry more stuff? The four-door car or the truck? Let me hear it in the comments. What do you guys think? Is it going to be the truck that's capable of carrying more stuff? Or is it going to be the sedan, the four doors car? Let me hear it. Let me hear it. I'm gonna wait in the comments. Come on, we gotta make this interactive, right? We got to make this interacting. We got to make this interacting. Come on, people, go ahead, share this live, and I see I got 4 people. Now the question that I have, that I asked just now, I said, if you guys moving up exactly the truck, right? Because the truck has more space than the sedan. Same thing when it comes to your 5G. If your mobile device doesn't have the latest software, the latest hardware that is 5G capable, that is gigabit capable, and when I'm talking about 5G or gigabit, I'm talking about the internet speed, the network speed. That's how they measure it, right? If you have, for example, Comcast at home or LCN at home, your internet speed could be like 150 megs, 50, right? 50 megs, um, 150 megs ups, 50 down, right? If your devices is not capable, you will not going to see 5G. Now, to be quite frankly with you, there is way I can actually, like for example on my network, there is where I can actually show you, hey, you seeing gigabit, but your device is old. It is. Now that's why you see like the new phones, like for example, I believe was it Motorola that came out with the first 5G phone, and that was already close to like, wasn't it like $1,500 for a 5G phone? So now let's go back a little bit. What is 5G really? Now, until now, nous got the television, pas vrai? I mean, used to, because now everything is streaming. You got Amazon Prime, you got YouTube. That's also, you paid for. You got Netflix, right? I don't use none of them. I use actually Koji, big time. Um, Now, what is 5G? Back in the day when you were watching TV, and let's say there's a live event, and the most common live events back in the day used to be those two things: soccer games, actually several things. Soccer games, which is the most common one, concert, football games during the playoff, which we do still, and then political events, like the inauguration, or if there's something in England, like Princess Diana's death, or when she was getting married and things like that, right? These were broadcasting live everywhere, right? Was it live though? You see it in real time, but was it actually you see it live, but was it in real time? The answer is no, and here's why. Let's take this phone as the Earth, like the global Earth, right? And we down here, there is actually a TV station broadcasting this event all the way in UK. That signal goes up to the satellite, and satellite was way up there. See how far down I'm putting the phone, right? How far down? Let me go back real quick. How far down, right? I'm putting the phone way back down. Now you have the satellite all the way up here. Now, by the time the signal comes from here to there, there is something called a latency, right? A delay. Now, by the time that signal goes up, there is like, 25-second delays. Now, by the time the signal goes back down, there is also a 25-second delay. And that's actually make it 50-second delay, so you don't really get the chance to. So when they kick, like let's say for example, like right, we're watching the soccer game, and you see the player kick the ball, right? When he really kicked the ball, and when you see it with a delay, because by the time that when you see it, something else already happened. Okay. So now what happened? What they do is this: they come up with 5G. So what 5G does, instead of putting that satellite all the way up there, it comes way lower to orbit. If you guys pay attention at night, though, you see you got more star. I mean, since they repainting those with a dark coat on all the satellite that SpaceX launched from 2020 to today, they actually repaint them with a dark coat because they were bright. They were too bright. But back in 2020, if you guys were paying attention, you see that we had more stars than ever, right? And we still got a couple more that's lined up. That's really well lined up, right? Um, and no, they're not the Orion, right? And they lower. Now, what happened? Remember, right here I had about like 25-second delays. Now it's 5-second delays. Actually, millisecond. My bad. It's 5 millisecond delays, right? What happened? You can get that thing. You can see that thing still with the delays, but way faster. Now they're even working on making it closer. And now, in order to fix it, if you guys pay attention on top of the pole, like the electric, so that poto electricio, the electrical poles, you'll see there is like some round stuff sitting on top of those poles. Majority of them are for Verizon. They sitting on top of those poles, right? These are actually 5G antenna. And what does that do? Now, not only we have the satellite that's lower, but we also need ground antennas. Now, instead of having big cell towers that's really high up, like like close to 200 feet high, now we have those antennas sitting on top of those electrical poles, right? That's also providing faster internet. So let's say that from here, okay, from here to there, that's one and two. And you as a customer, you're in between your phone, your laptop, your car now because they self-driving, right? It doesn't lose services. So it comes from this. By the time it gets to that, it's already get connected. So your car is driving in between, right? From right here. It's already connected to this right here, right? Because it's pick up the signal. Guess what? Another one, another one, another one. That's literally 5G. That's how they say that. Oh, you can download the movie 5 times the speed. Of course, I'm closer to the thing, right? I'm right there next to the antenna. Why wouldn't I be having like fast internet service? I'm right there. I'm to the antenna. That's why they keep the antennas lower. Now, your phone also need to still be 5G capable. Otherwise, you're not gonna get the 5G experience really. Yeah, of course, I'm not gonna actually put the whole thing in, the whole secrets out, but so we can actually manipulate your phone and say, hey, it says 5G. We can do that. But is it really 5G? No, that's why right now, because of the 5G, you see phones being sold at 1500, 1300. The new Apple, being sold at $1,400 because it's 5G. Now, they actually selling it so high also because they have a shortage on the chip. Like everything now has a microprocessor inside of it. Like my phone do have one. New cars do have one. We have actually self-driving cars. They do have one. Laptops do have one. TVs do have one. Your Ring doorbell do have one. What else? Pretty much everything else you can. Oh, this phone right here, right? Do have a chip, right? Pretty much everything do have a microprocessor inside of it, and now there is a shortage. And the sad part is the fact that there were not that many companies making those chips. Based on what I've learned so far, that was the only industry we didn't really have that many competition. Where comme si like okay, ACN, okay, Comcast, okay, Verizon, qui buy internet service for the microprocessor chip. There was only like literally just one based on what I learned. That was actually doing those. Hmm. Yeah, even though they rebranded it like Intel, and Amazon started doing its own too. There's that too. Yeah. But anyway, now that's literally the 5G. That's what the 5G does. If your phone, your computer, now if you're a business, you don't have gigabit switch, you don't have hardware that's actually gigabit capable, whenever you do a speed test to test your internet speed, you will always see 100 megs. You will always see that because your hardware is not gigabit capable. In another word, ou pa gen yon kamyon pou move, so oblige a loué yon. Ou pa gen kamyon, you don't have a truck. You only have a sedan. You only have a four-door car. So you need to go get a U-Haul in order to move bigger stuff. Same thing with your equipment. Okay? Now, third, services. I'm actually live on Facebook right now. But do you guys know what's really running? What's allowing me to do this live on Facebook? It is called an RTL. R as in Romeo, T as in Tom, L as in Lima, RTL protocol. That's the streaming protocol. That's why I'm able to do this live right now. Now, also behind every services that do live streaming, either it is Facebook, YouTube, Zoom, Team, WhatsApp, um, the Apple version of video calls. They they all have something an application called WebRTC behind it. No matter who it is, what services, they do have something, you know, called WebRTC that's literally sitting behind it. Okay. Now, WebRTC, again, you guys can go ahead and Google that. It's called WebRTC. Okay. Can go ahead and Google that. You guys will see about it. But that's actually what these are protocol. You know, like for example, when you send an email, right? Either you're using Gmail, Yahoo, um, Hotmail. People use Hotmail or Yahoo. I mean, I know people use Yahoo, but you also have Hotmail, MSN, right? Um, these are use a protocol called SMTP, Simple Mail Transfer Protocol, SMTP, right? Simple Mail Transfer Protocol. And now, with that services, there is something also called a port number, right? It's like having, oh, I need actually to go to Brockton, but whose house you going to in Brockton? I'm going to Stefano's house, right? That's SMTP, right? I'm going to Stefano's house. That could be WebRTC. That could be the RTL, right? Where is Stefano? Where is he located? You need the address. You need the number, right? You need the street name, and that the number, right? The number. That's what's called a port number. Because if you don't have the right port number, if you don't have my number, my house number, how are you gonna come to my house? If you don't know where the address of my data center, how you gonna come to my data center? I mean, you can come to Brockton. Are you gonna be able to come to my data center? You don't have the number. Same thing for emails and IP addresses, right? Um, and it's getting a little complicated also because when it comes to IP address, then you have something called a domain name services (DNS), right? That gets into it. Um, so yeah. Now, if you don't have my number, you can't come. That's the port number. Now that's why we have firewalls. A company like myself, YouTube, Google, Facebook, you name it. Every single company they do have firewalls, and those firewalls protect our internal network from unwanted people, right? Because once they have the address, the number for our address, actually, let me take that back real quick. The building number will be what's considered as the IP address. Now, the floor that I'm on, which could be either the suite number, which is the suite number, that's going to be my port number. Like anybody can come to the building, but can you come to my floor if you don't know which floor I'm on? Okay? I told you guys at the beginning, I'm not actually when it comes to dumb things out for people, I'm not actually the best, but I'm still doing my best, right? Um, so the number is gonna be the IP address, and that IP address is what's being provided by your internet service provider, i.e. Comcast, i.e. Gene Computer Corporation. Okay, because I do provide people with their own IP addresses. Now, once they get services from me, they have to also get their own firewall because I'm not responsible for that. I'm responsible for my stuff. They get to have their own firewall, their own security team to design their own network internally, right? They have to open their own port in order to be able to get to receive emails, right? So whenever that you send or receive emails, you go through a protocol called SMTP. Same things for the video, right? There's a protocol called RTL that also use a port number because you cannot just put a server like that online without security. Honestly, that's recipe for disaster. That's straight. On est pour serveur qu'on y a là, on est clever, li di ou al kreye prop live streaming ou la dani, you can actually do it. But ou pa an kreye an security or whatsoever, that's recipe for disaster. Straight up. Right? So these are the services. Now if there's any questions, as I'm thinking of, to add to those three, if there's any questions, please ask. If there's any questions, uh, again, ask if there is any comments. Put it there. Share this and give me some likes, right? Um, Now, I have a friend of mine there that said currently she has RCN and RCN sucks. And inside of where you live right now is RCN the only company that you can have. Which actually do happen parce qu'un peu l'appartement complexe they only allow one carrier, they're not multi-vendor. They only single vendor, which means only one company you can get service from. Could be either Comcast only, Verizon only, AT&T only if you actually in Florida, um, Spectrum if you're in New York. I mean part of New York. It's all depend on the zip code. Charter. Um, but yeah, there's that. Okay. So these are the three things that I wanted to mention about. And again, if there is comment, questions, likes, please do so. Do share it because again, those what happened. Now, just let's brush off real quick because a couple weeks ago, I received a I received a call from a good friend of mine, also an investor. Okay. I received a call and say, "Hey, Stefano, Kagela, I want a carbon. You know, a carbon because I was actually, I'm working from home. I wasn't not feeling too good, and I'm like, let me let me do my stuff from home. I can actually work from home. I can access my stuff from home, right?" He's like, "Ah, mwen chwa baka nan carbon, mwen chwa. Vwede se ta internet la, internet la vil kote ap tobe." Mzi, internet la vil kote ap tobe. I didn't know. But they also tell me that, hey, I tried to connect to the Wi-Fi, but I can't connect. I'm trying to send a message on WhatsApp, but the message is not going through. But then finding out that Facebook is down. So us as a data center, we do have a way to find out which website goes down. Like POF went down about like a couple months ago. Plenty of fish. Um, Google got hacked back in March. Microsoft got hacked. The government got hacked back. I mean, they finding out back in late November last year by using a what's that? By using what's that application called again? Oh well, I don't remember the name of that company. SolarWind. SolarWind. That's the name of the company. SolarWind. They were using one of their software, and then SolarWind. Somebody happened to mimic their security signature, and then they were sitting there collecting information for months until it got discovered back in late November, right? Yeah, late November towards December. And pendant ce temps, moun qui fait ça, il était chita and plusieurs systèmes like the Pentagon, Amazon, Microsoft since March of 2020, right? And news runs are about like December 2020. So when I find that out, I'm like, oh, Facebook is down. And honestly, I didn't know because what I do, I also cache um, those websites here on my servers like Facebook, YouTube. I cache those. So which means that Anzika Konyala, I don't have access to the with the world, right? However, but that code that outage is just like a 5 to 10 minutes, right? If you on my network, you will actually doesn't know, you will not know that I have an outage because you're still accessing those pages. Fine, you know. Um, Now, why Facebook went down? Facebook went down, which they say was a human error, but really, and in reality, they're not gonna actually go. But that human error caused a protocol called BGP, you know, to go to literally destroy that BGP protocol. So, what is a BGP? It's called a Border Gateway Protocol. Do you guys remember just like 5, 10 minutes ago, I mentioned about the peering agreements, right? That is actually what the BGP is about. Now, there is other protocol like OSPF, like for example, I'm here in Brockton. I have a router located in Pennsylvania. I can access that from here. I designed that network by creating OSPF and BGP. I can connect to a router that's sitting in Auburn, Massachusetts. I can access that. It's like I was right there inside of that network, right? And again, that's creating different routes. And for example, qui bien simple BGP, right? Anti can do Wally Busto. Everybody, we all going down to downtown. I'm in Brockton. Some of you are in Randolph. Some of you are in Avon, Taunton, right? But our objective, our goal is to go down to downtown. Are we all going to be able to take the same route? The answer is no. Otherwise, we'll be congested. We'll be stuck for hours because there is way too many people on just that one highway. Where I know that you guys can say, yeah, we can all get on 24. The answer is no. We cannot all get on 24 to get to downtown Boston. We can go through Milton. We can actually decide to go 95 south, right? Depending on how congested 93 north is, we can decide to take 95 south and go through Dedham. We can even go through Cambridge, depending on how critical we need to get to Boston too. Um, we can park our cars, get on the train, the commuter rail. We can get on the red line. Also goes through goes to Boston. So same thing for the BGP process. There's a ton of people who need to go through Facebook, but they're coming from different way. But those routes were created, like for example, so while in New York, right? You on I-90, you for couple exit up one mouton lot highway. Same thing with the internet. You guys actually jump from one network to another to another to another to get to Facebook. Now, what happened is that whole pattern that I described it, and it's like having the GPS. The GPS cannot find Facebook because it's not on the map. Never existed. And WhatsApp, Instagram, Facebook, they are all on the same highway. They're located inside of the same island. Just because, and now because we cannot, there is no bridge connecting us to that island. All three of those things, they vanish. Nobody can access the Facebook. Nobody can access the Instagram. Nobody can access nothing. Not even WhatsApp. Nothing. We can access them because of the BGP that's dropped down. And again, you guys can actually read about it. Like when I first, the first video I did like the same night because I was like, oh, because I was getting calls saying that, oh, maybe say internet won't problem. But I was like, oh, I mean, not literally saying like that, but yeah. I actually went back and put a post on Facebook and say, should we as an ISP get paid back for Facebook going down? Because aussitôt que Facebook connect tombé, everybody think the internet went down. Now, which also leads to another thing. I think also people need to stop relying fully on Facebook. Also, fully will stop relying on WhatsApp. WhatsApp, I understand it's free, but it's not the only application you guys can use. That's free. Facebook is not the only social media that you guys can use. Um, Instagram is not the only application that you guys can use. They are the most common one, not the only one. Because aussitôt que Facebook tonic tombe, right? Everyone, no matter what the country says, one thing, the internet goes down. Then we were like, okay, I mean, I was one of them. I was like, okay, is this the end of Facebook? Because there is actually, I mean, the law of how they call that again? Jesus Christ. But I'm gonna summarize it. That says like everything that goes up must come down, right? You got Amazon, Google, Facebook, Microsoft. There's another one too that's actually expecting to go down because ça commence non left à fini, right? So yeah, the law of gravity, right? Everything that goes up must come down. Um, so yeah, I was like, okay, is this the end of Facebook? I literally actually posed that. Was this the end of Facebook? Because Facebook went down not for 1 hour, not for 2 hours, for 6 hours. The most downtime ever recorded. Unless if there is actually, a natural disaster like earthquake, fire, um, um, hurricane, stuff like that. 6 hours, the most ever recorded in the industry. But Facebook went down. But anywho, it's already like 1 hour and two. Wow, this is actually the first time also that I've ever done 1 hour and 2 minutes sitting and talking on a live. But anywho, if you guys like this video, if you guys felt like you learned something, please like it, love it, share it, comment about it. You know, Gene Computer Corp, we do provide phone services, we do provide co-location, hosting, cloud-based services, and of course the internet. Now, um, everywhere, like right now, we have 4 locations, but everywhere, we have to put more services, more antennas. That has to be built because we don't use, um, we're not using existing network. So everywhere you go, we have to actually build our own stuff, and that costs. That costs a lot. Okay, it costs for the space, it costs for the construction, it costs for the insurance, and yeah. And I also do actually will provide the opportunity if you guys want to franchise, the internet service. I can actually provide you with the whole how to do that, and then and support you on those layers and where I build you on a monthly, and you have just as a franchisee, and you guys have to make sure you guys do your own advertisement, build your customer as you please, but there is a respectful number that you guys have to charge the customers, especially for internet now, which is getting close to nothing. Um, you know, um, but yeah, if you guys interested in, if someone is interested in being a franchisee, please do so. If someone is interested in being a salesperson and based on commission, also please contact us. If you'd like to have our phone service, again, we have the mobile app. We also have the actual phone applications, and which you can use anywhere in the world as long as you have internet service. You can contact us at 1-888 585 5326, or you can also email us at info at genecomputech.com, right? GeanComputech.com. Um, for internet service right now, there is actually Brockton, but not even like not all over Brockton, because there is only two zip codes, 02301 so far, and 02302 we have to go through zoning and all that political crap. In Auburn, naturally, Auburn, we're still mapping out Auburn. Um, but our service, where I put those antennas is gonna be close to the highway, on I-90 or 290. That's in Auburn, Massachusetts, and that's close to Worcester, right? And yep. And so yeah, yeah. So if you guys are interested in becoming a franchisee, because we can provide you no matter where you are, there's gonna it's gonna be a franchisee's fee to be able to franchise the network, and then you can charge your own customer and be your own internet service provider as well. Honestly, it's not that hard at all to do so. Actually, as the way I explains it. And plus, when you become the franchisee, you got the full support that I will provide. And all you gotta do is just like hey, here's the platform. You build your customers, and I'll build you every single month. And you go and you do your own marketing and all that, and it's your name. The customer doesn't even know that I exist, because let's say you call yourself abcinternet.com, right? That customer will only know about that abcinternet.com and doesn't even know that I'm actually in the back end. um and that's actually the franchise option. So you don't really have to go through the whole ups and down trying to get your own public IP and all that. I will provide you guys with those. So yeah, yeah. So um, if there's any questions, comments, please like it, share this video. Again, 1-888-585-5326. That's the main line. We open from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. I'm literally about to turn off my computer because usually I'm supposed to be doing updates right now. I'm not actually really feeling like it. I'm actually tired though. Been here and had a long day today. Tell you the truth, I had a very long day. It was a very long day. Yeah, it was. But yeah, anywho. So yeah, I hope you guys have a good night. I hope this video was informational. I hope you guys liked it. I hope you guys learned a lot tonight. And again, don't forget to share it. Don't forget to give a like to it. Okay. And I hope you all have a very good, blessed night.